Matt, what's your preferred flavor of vape? What are you working on there?
Blueberry lemonade.
Blueberry lemonade?
Yep.
That doesn't sound too shabby.
Or it's pretty explosive if you do the right things.
What was the, like blueberry custard or some shit?
Yeah. That was the one, like when we first met, that's what it was, blueberry cereal milk or some shit like that, but it had a custard in it. That was some good shit.
Good Lord. These artisanal flavors, it's too much.
I only do dessert flavors that way, because if I go Marlboro flavor, I'm going to just go get a pack of cigarettes and smoke the real thing.
Yeah, no tobacco flavor. Like, nobody needs that.
Yep.
Yeah, you need mango or something cool.
When you smoked, how many cigarettes a day, or how many, was it multiple packs a day?
2 to 2.5 packs.
Every fucking day, huh?
Every day.
God damn.
How were you with, there was a time when you were in the military, you were dipping, right, Mike?
Yeah, I used to dip like a motherfucker, but...
How do you go through that? Was that a can a week? I mean, I don't know what the approximation is.
No, I mean, it's kind of similar to cigarettes. I mean, most people don't dip like pack to can quite as much as people smoke, I think, at least in my experience. I mean, it's not uncommon for guys to go through a can a day, but that's a lot for chewing tobacco, at least in my opinion. Whereas, you know, because a dip will last you fucking 30 minutes, 40 minutes, an hour sometimes if you leave it in. You know, so much of both dipping and smoking are about the actual action of it being habitual as it is the chemical influence you get from it.
Yeah.
You know, which is why sunflower seeds or, you know, sipping fucking coffee or just drinking a lot of, you know, whatever it is, water, soda, you know, are good ways to keep you from doing that. But there's just something about that action, because I smoked off and on a little bit too, like a little bit in high school and when I was in the military off and on, like on deployment, we'd roll our own cigarettes on deployment and stuff, just fucking around. But you know, that, yeah, there's something about the activity of it, I think, that
it's the movement is more like that.
But but you know, I guess my point with the cigarettes was the movement.
It's good. I saw it. I'm laughing over here.
The cigarettes thing, you know, a cigarette will last you like fucking a minute, 2 minutes, you know, whereas a dip will last you fucking half hour, you know, plus. So I think because of that, you just don't go through as much. But I think at the busiest dipping time, I'd go through about a can a day. But
that shit kept me regular.
Yeah.
There's something about nicotine and caffeine.
Well, it's a vasoconstrictor.
Yeah.
So it just squeezes your insides and makes you fucking shit everything out.
Yeah, so first thing in the morning, you go pop a cigarette and then pop a shit and then go to work.
Yeah, coffee and fucking cigarette first thing in the morning. If that doesn't make you shit your brains out, you're all kinds of fucked up.
You ate some fucked up shit the night before. Well, we've been recording, and welcome to Uninfluenced, you fuck sticks.
Welcome to the show where there's really nothing off the table.
Yeah. That's what the audience, every time, that's why I love reading the comments. They're like, I love how y'all talk just random shit and then current events and things like that. Well, believe it or not, people, that we're pretty current, because I was at Mike's house yesterday doing a lot of the show notes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I wasn't really talking to him about them. I was just doing them.
Sure, as you do.
I was like, I don't want your fucking opinion.
Well, yeah, if you bring it up early, I mean, it's not going to be good, right?
No, we found out some cool stuff.
It won't be good either way, Zach.
Yeah. Yeah. We just need good titles. After that, it shit don't need to be good.
Good title and thumbnail.
Yeah, like you can put anal probed by UFO, and we'll just blast up, and we won't talk nothing about UFOs.
Aliens are real, sexual proof.
Yeah.
I'll take that under consideration for this week's thumbnail, for sure.
I found this butt plug.
Yeah.
It glows in my wife's sock drawer.
And it glows in the dark. It's got to be an alien.
Yeah, fucking alien. It's full of his semen. I can see it glowing.
Looks like a lightsaber.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's been a crazy week. Still haven't been sleeping.
You're at, what is this, week 3, week 2 in the new house?
2 or 3. I think it's 3, yeah. I just can't get no damn sleep. Well, I got home late last night, went to bed late, woke up early, came up here, started working, so I figure I'll sleep when I'm dead. I got to that point where I'm hurting. I'm so tired. Like my body can't recoup.
Oh.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one thing that like a lot of people say, that they're busy, like they justify overworking themselves. Well, I'll fucking sleep when I'm dead. But the reality of it is the recovery component of being busy is what your productivity hinges on. So like using that as I got shit to do. It's like you'll still be better if you sleep more.
Yeah.
For the hours that you are awake, you'll be far more productive and efficient, and probably more pleasant to be around. Not that you're a cranky fucking tired guy, because you're really not. But
I don't know. I go home and thunder punch my wife.
I take everything out at home.
Y'all haven't noticed her her glasses get bigger and bigger every day you see her. You're just gonna start looking like a fucking bee before long.
Good Lord.
But yeah, I mean, a lot of people don't realize that. That's a good point. That everybody sleep when I'm dead. I've said that shit a lot, but if you're not getting at least 6 hours of good sleep a night, you're hurting yourself.
The studies that I've had a couple different people on Mic Drop that have done quite a bit of research, and they're in health fields or nutrition and fitness fields, or at a strength and conditioning coach on that. We talked at length about, I think the buzz term is sleep hygiene, but which I think is fucking dumb.
It's a goofy phrase, yeah.
Sounds stupid.
But anyway, the couple of key things that he said were, the magic number, while yes, it does vary a little bit from person to person, overwhelmingly 7.5 hours being kind of the minimum of, if you're getting, right around that, that's what most people's bodies require for kind of a full recovery sleep cycle. But there's a caveat with that, and that some of the things that help set you up for success for sleeping are, cutting out blue light screen time, a couple hours before bed, and same with caffeine, not eating or drinking a lot the last few hours before you go to bed.
Oh, I'm fucked.
Making sure that you have your entire room is basically totally fucking blacked out, or use a sleep mask. And then also that the temperature is commensurate with what your body needs to sleep. And we were talking about this last night. Mm-hmm. Most guys want it way cooler than most women.
Yeah.
One thing that I've used in the past, I don't use it now, but for some reason, just sometimes it seems like I need it more than others. But is this? I think it's called a coolie or a cooler. I can't remember the name. It's a sleep pad. That's like the liquid cooled spacesuits, basically, where it's just a fucking pad that has like IV lines of water fucking snaked all the way through it, and then it's got a little tank that you set off to the side and plug in, and you set the temperature on it, and then so you're laying on, a 65 degree fucking pad, so then you can lay there, under a bunch of fucking covers. The room's not that cool, whatever, and you stay pretty cool. I will say. That thing does work really well, way better than like electric blankets. Similarly, if you sleep on top of them, you'll stay way warmer than sleeping under them, even though it's cozier, to be underneath, one, whether it's hot or cold, because your organs and the weight and everything, it does a much better job of cooling you off laying on top of it. But anyway, I've used it with, even in the wintertime sometimes, like if I have fleece sheets on, or it's cold as fuck, and I've got heavier covers in the winter. Putting that pad on keep you from sweating and keep you real cool. There's some other ones too that they make, like they're fans where it like props the fucking bottom of your sheets up and blows air or whatever. But to me, like, that's just fucking weird.
Yeah.
And you Dutch oven yourself all fucking night long doing that shit. So
blow ass and it's just all in your nose.
Be eating your own asshole half the night.
How was your night? It was shitty.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to see the studies on the incidence of pink eye with that fucking thing.
Yeah. Pink eye.
How's the noise on that pump thing? That sounds like it'd be potentially noisy.
No, I mean, it's no different than a small desk fan.
Yeah.
Which, for me, like, I have a small desk fan that's not even pointed at the fucking bed, just for the noise.
White noise.
For me, I have a real hard time sleeping if it's totally fucking quiet. But
yeah, I like a little bit of noise.
Yeah.
Not like fucking road traffic, but like a constant noise.
Like some of those noise apps where it's like crackling fire or rain dropping or whatever, like that shit will keep me up all fucking night long. Like, what is the house on fire? Like, I don't want to listen to fucking fire crackling all goddamn night.
Yeah, the house is burning down, bitch, get up.
Plus it's just random, like.
For sure.
To me, it's got to be like a vacuum cleaner, a fan, whatever. Mm-hmm. It's got to be a constant drone.
Or like a rhythm. What's the ideal temperature for sleep in your house? Well, I mean, what are you setting that?
I mean, for me, I keep it at 70, but you know, I keep it with 70. I keep the ceiling fan on, and then the desk fan on, and then like in the summertime, I've got these bamboo fucking sheets that are kind of like satin. They're a similar feel, but they're I think that they're just better for durability and not stretching and wearing out and whatever. But they're just really fucking soft and really thin. And then just a really thin comforter, I guess. But I mean, it's almost like just a little bit heavier than a sheet.
Yeah, that's what I use, like one of them throw blankets, that weird fleece almost, but still thin. Yeah,
I don't like a heavy anything in the summertime. Half the time I fucking lay there with nothing covering me for half the night. But
I got that weird feeling though, if my feet ain't covered, at least my feet, the motherfucker gonna grab me. I can be totally fucking undone, but my feet are covered up. I keep mine at 67.
It's pretty good.
And then I don't have much of a budget, so we use trash bags for sheets, things like that. Yeah, it's pretty wild. Yeah, but it sleeps real. I've noticed weight gain with not sleeping, and I mean my eating habit hasn't changed. In fact, I probably ate less not sleeping, but my weight gain is there. So I need to get this under wraps and drop about 20 pounds.
You feel like you've noticed like noticeable shift in weight?
Oh,
you think due to sleep, like not? Because I don't know if I've ever caught that, but the older I get, the more sleep matters, man. Like it's
100%.
Yeah.
100%. I used to be anti-nap, and I'll tell you, I will try to sneak in a 30, 45-minute nap here and there now.
Yeah.
Like it ain't shit.
No, sleep is fucking stupid important.
Yeah.
And yes, weight gain, sickness, fucking recovery, mental fog, digestion, fucking metabolism, like all of your body's processes. And that's the thing that, like, once you think about it, it's like, oh shit, that makes sense. Most people don't think about it though.
Yeah.
It's just how fucking important sleep is. I mean, no different than take your cell phone, right? Is that if the battery is almost fucking dead, like, or it's dying, or, you know, if components of it aren't working properly, it's not going to fucking work right. You know, we talk about cars and bikes all the time. Same thing is that, you know, the fuel that you put in it, like, I don't care how good the bike is or the car or whatever, if you put shitty fuel in it and parts in it aren't working right, and it's fucking broken and worn down, it's just not going to fucking run the same, you know, and your body is absolutely no goddamn different. You know, so you have to get good sleep and recover all of those things in your body, and you know, your brain, your digestion, your metabolism, your pituitary, your hormones, all of those things are going to be affected if you're not recovered properly, which, you know, leads to every other fucking problem that people have. So
STDs.
Yeah.
Hold on, I don't think that's from not
You get those from no sleep?
Right.
Yeah, is that what that
That's what I told my old lady. I didn't get enough sleep and caught the syphilis.
Yeah, shit happens. Caught myself wandering through a field of vaginas. Sleeping's important. Something else I've been losing sleep on is my wife's starting this ovulating test.
Yeah.
Now I know what it's like to be a chick. Dude, I'm like a piece of meat running around the house. Yesterday I threw yogurt on her and told her I was finished. Told her, yeah, I'm done.
You have to fake it at this point.
Yeah. It's a good time to have this in studio guest.
Oh my God. Yeah, I'm sorry you're being objectified at home, Matt. Tell her you're a man, all right, that you have feelings, and that.
Don't tell her that. Just handle business.
Yeah, I mean, I just keep handling it. I mean, the tank's empty, but I'm still making her think that things are happening.
Look, you got to bring home the bacon.
If she messes around and has a blueberry, you know, my bad. That's just my favorite yogurt. But that's just keeping it real.
Is it so the window is fucking right now and it's fucking game on?
Yeah, like I got tricked 2 days ago.
What do you mean you got tricked?
She's like, hey, I'm hungry. Can you bring lunch home? And I was like, yeah, I'll bring lunch home. I'll bring lunch home. And then I needed a new shirt because I got violated. Yeah, I called my buddy that was a cop. I tried to report her ass. Shit was wild.
He didn't want to hear it?
He didn't want to hear it. He just said, you lucky bastard, and then hung up on me.
He asked her if she felt safe in the relationship?
Exactly. Total violation. Total violation.
I'm sorry to hear that, Matt. That sounds like tough.
There's the good news. There's way worse problems to have.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, great. Now my wife's helping me look for cars.
Now we know what you're doing over there. Now we know who you're texting.
No, I'm actually reading show notes today that are up to date, not ones that I forgot about.
Good for you.
And then brought up later.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like to party.
Well, before we get into those, it seems like the consensus was to sell that.
Yes.
Overall.
We had one person in the comments ask about it, if it would be for sale and he was interested. I put my email up. If you want to contact us, you can go to about blah, 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 and somewhere over there is the way to contact us. You can email, and if you're interested in this bike, Mike will sell it to you.
Yeah, we got contact info in the description. Like you'd slide down there. You can get a hold of us.
Yeah. Mike, you may even sign it if you want with a paint pen.
Hell, I may ride it to your house. How about that shit?
Better be some good money. Gas expensive.
It depends on how far away you are.
Yeah.
Definitely depends, yeah.
I'm in Canada. We'll see you in a couple days.
Yeah.
Be a good ride.
Yeah. Hold on, my wife's sending me cool cars. We need to bring her to be an in-studio guest so she can just tell me what the hell she's talking about.
I'm a little surprised we haven't had her on yet, gonna be honest. Like, she seems like she could slide. I mean, she's been close to being on before, I think.
She got a bad attitude, so I don't like her on.
I think she's got a good on-air personality.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I do want to wish our in-studio guest a happy birthday. Talk about when pranking someone goes wrong. Right, what's your name? Edit that part.
Yeah, I'm gonna be cutting this show up for sure.
Yeah, yesterday, when a prank goes wrong, if you're gonna try to tell someone at a restaurant that someone in your party is having a birthday, make sure that they can't turn that shit around on you.
That's exactly what happened.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. What's the story? What happened?
So we go to dinner last night, and someone in our party decided to say, "Hey, it's his birthday," and pointed to me.
Ooh.
But I mean,
It's a dirty move.
on the sly, went like, "Oh, I'm going to go to the bathroom."
Yeah, and I could see through the glass talking to the waiter for like 5 minutes, and then ducks behind the booth, and then, "Oh yeah, I'm back."
Yeah.
Like, you didn't even go anywhere, bro.
That's cool. It's cool that you're being included, right? Like it's getting pranked means that people think you're a good sport.
Yeah, but how it went down, they come over, there was 5, 6 of them.
Yeah.
They bring this sombrero.
Oh, it was a Tex-Mex joint. I knew it.
Oh, yeah. And as they do that, I'm like, "Bro, it's not my birthday. Check it out. Here's my ID." And they're like, "Oh." And I was like, "It's actually their birthday, and they don't have an ID." So,
Yeah.
Wow.
So, of course, they fucking turn it around and pranked the pranker. Put the hat on that individual.
Man.
Sang and clapped and embarrassed the shit out of that one. So
Did you get a slice of cake or something out of that? I mean,
it was like it was basically
Tres leches or something?
No, it was nothing that fancy.
Sopapilla, wasn't it?
I mean, I don't know what the fuck you call it. It was an enchilada a fucking chimichanga with nothing in it. It was basically just the shell, deep fat fried, dipped in fucking honey and covered in sugar. But
a little cinnamon.
The best part's when the person takes half of it with a fork, sticks it in the mouth. Don't like engulp it, but pulls it back out. Anybody want some? No.
Yeah, some good manners taught there, boy.
Not at all.
When you're here, you're family, right? Anybody can try it.
Yeah, not at all.
That's
Get
great.
that away. So yesterday, sad day, I lost my vape. But I lost my vape on the way to film the Porsche Cayenne going bye-bye.
Yep. So we got that video for you.
It's official, huh?
Yep, loaded it on the truck yesterday, and it's off to California. But yeah, on the way to go do that, so I'm in the fucking car behind Matt on his bike, and he's ripping a fucking wheelie, and it's 150 yards in front of the fucking police station.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, in a good one. I mean, good high fucking for a while, and all of a sudden I see a little fucking blur come out of the pocket, and it hits the ground and just explodes. And at first I thought it was his phone. I was like, "Oh god damn!" But then I as we're driving by, we looked closer, and I was like, "Oh, it's his fucking vape." I was gonna stop and try to pick it up, but it fucking blew up.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was.
So I had to replace my vape. Mike has to replace his Cayenne. I got fucked on this deal.
Man, how? I mean, it was a solid wheelie though, right? It looked cool. That's what matters.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah.
It was a good wheelie.
Nice.
Yeah.
That bike's amazing.
What'd you do it on, the Aprilia?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, bike's
Cooler if
incredible.
it was the Challenger.
Yeah.
That would have been something else.
Dragging the fucking saddlebags in the back.
Hitting exhaust.
That's right.
That Aprilia is an amazing, amazing bike.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. And we're fixing to do some videos of things we were told couldn't be done to the bikes. And for those of you that don't know, I'm big on researching stuff. So if I'm told it can't be done, bitch, hang on. And we basically found 2 routes that it could be done, which is exhaust and other things. Tail tidies, we were told couldn't be done. Fuel door deal like we like couldn't be done.
Yeah.
Basically everything we've been told so far couldn't be done, we've done. And totally happy with both ways it turned out. We have a budget-friendly way and a higher-end way. And it works out because it's the higher-end ways on the higher-end bike, and then the budget-friendly's on the budget bike. So I guess it was a kind of unknowing mistake that my cheap ass has the budget-friendly bike. Mike has the nicer bike. Well, I mean, they're the same but different.
You got to control and you got to experiment, right?
Yeah, and I think it's working out really well to tell us where things are. Like one of the things you did is the wheels, and that's an amazing upgrade. At first we were like,
Yeah. I mean, to me, for the price, I still don't know that I would necessarily do it, maybe.
From where you were at?
From where I'm at, it's much more justified now.
Yeah.
Like the first time I rode it, I was like, man, it's just not worth the money for doing it. The first, and granted, it was a 10-mile ride. I mean, it was pretty short, but I've put maybe 100 miles, 120 miles on it since then, and now I notice a huge difference, and it feels noticeably better. It's still a lot of money for that difference. I mean, to me, what I'd be curious of, not that I have the level of competency to really test it, but is to see, on a track or a closed loop, or whatever. Even something as simple as I will say one thing I do notice. Just some of the corners, when I pay attention to speed, I can go 7 or 8 miles an hour faster doing all of the exact same shit. It's quicker, handles a little lighter and more nimble, and I can go faster on the same turns and curves and corners that I was doing, maybe low 50s on. Now I'm doing closer to 60 on. So, that's not nothing. So they're for sure better, and it makes the bike lighter and easier to maneuver and what have you, and even more pleasurable to ride. It's just that's a lot of money for rims, for wheels, when it's not like I'm a professional track rider, so.
But it does make it look really cool.
They do look fucking nice.
So if you're doing it for looks and functionality, I think it's money spent.
Yeah, I mean, to me, like with most things, I mean, it's not just for looks. Like, to me, doing something just because it looks a certain way, I think is kind of dumb. I guess it depends on what it is, but I'm trying to think if there's anything that I've done or would do that's strictly aesthetic. I can't think of anything.
I mean, the tail tidy, but it's not expensive.
Yeah.
I guess it cleans it up so much.
Yeah, I guess that's a fair point. The fender eliminator, it does just make it look less clunky. Is there any functionality to it? Not really. I guess that's the one thing. Coincidentally, that's also probably the cheapest thing you can do too. It's not very expensive to do that. But I would say, again, by and large, everything else that I can think of that I've done to a car, is for performance. I feel the same way largely about exhaust. Like if all it's doing is making it sound different, I typically don't like doing it. However, if the exhaust is really, really bad, where like the BMW as an example, like if it's so bad to where it needs something just to sound fucking normal, then maybe it's justified. And again, those usually aren't super expensive either. But other than those two things, I guess I can't think of anything that really makes sense or that I would spend money on if it's not doing something. Even the exhaust, you're still going to gain a little bit of power and breathability and keeping it cooler and all that out of. So, but I guess my point in all of that is that now, having had it and gotten used to it and comfortable with it, I think it's money well spent if you have it.
Yeah.
You know, if it's not a kick in the dick to spend that on the wheels, then I would recommend doing it. But you know, if it's like you got to save up to do it, and you know, or fucking borrow money to, you know, then no, I wouldn't recommend it.
So you're not saying do like a 29% interest rate loan
put
to
it on
get
a credit
wheels?
card. Yeah.
Something tying into the motorcycle a little bit, something we found out yesterday. Someone mentioned, I can't remember if it was in the comments or just in passing with talking about motorcycles, that Volkswagen Group owns Ducati. Of course, this person, Lamborghini owns Ducati. And I think where that tie-in is because Ducati and Lamborghini work together to make that Diwali or whatever it is.
Well, and ultimately the parent company owns both of them.
Yeah, which is Volkswagen Group. Yeah. And once we looked it up and thinking about that collaboration, it really makes sense that they did work together. But it's pretty neat to know how Ducati, well, we can see where their R&D, how they have all the money to do some of the crazy shit Ducati does. Yeah. I mean, you're part of probably the largest auto group there is. Yeah. So yeah, your money's.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it's bigger than even the American ones, because it spans, you know, all of Europe and South America. I mean, they're everywhere. Mm-hmm. I know. I mean, it's funny. We were at a car show. There was a comment, something about, you know, flexing because we had Texas plates or something like that. Yeah. And I was thinking about it, and I was like, you know, at the end of the day, you know, guy's driving a Lamborghini, you know, you're driving a Mercedes and I'm driving a Ferrari. I was like, but at the end of the day, you're driving a fucking Volkswagen, you're driving a Chrysler, and I'm driving a Fiat. Yeah. You know, like, ultimately that's what they are. You know, it's a weird, it's a double-edged sword, I think, in that, you know, a lot of good things have come out of big automakers buying smaller kind of boutique or mom and pop specialty brands, but it takes away some of that individuality and passion, I think, in those brands that does kind of suck. But I get it; it's business, and you know, when streamlining processes and efficiency is the difference between, you know, making good money versus not. You have to do that. You have to streamline shit, and it just makes sense too. But you know, most of the time, people that bitch about a company being bought out by another company and them selling out, you know, don't own their own business. You know, they work for somebody else, and they have no real concept of what that process is like. You know, so
I'd sell out quick as shit. Just let y'all know that right now. Someone comes up with the right amount of money, I'm out, bitch. Yeah, it's a whole different deal owning your business and judging people for selling out. Yeah. I mean, that'd be like someone coming up to me for the plumbing company and like, hey, we're going to basically be able to give you unlimited access to be able to do whatever the hell you want in plumbing. Yeah. We're still going to want you to run the company, though, but we're going to give you this ungodly amount of money to do what you want to do. Yeah. Well, where the fuck do I sign, and why'd you go that long into your spiel, buddy? Mm-hmm. You know, fucking sign up and take it to that next level. And I mean, shit, I give anybody props for doing that.
I've been one of my projects I've been working on this side. I've been helping a friend out with an audiobook. It's a CEO, and like she, the woman who wrote the book, she started a company and then sold it. That's what the book's about, and that was success. Selling out was the finish line. It was like, oh God, I'm good. I'm done. I can retire. I can write my memoir. Like, it was great.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good thing. It's not bad.
Most all business owners at some point, their main goal is to build a company and sell it to somebody who can take their dream to something bigger and better. Now, there are some businesses that you just can't do that. It's impossible. Not impossible, but there's not a ton of people buying up, say, plumbing companies. There's not a ton of people knocking on the door for what you do. Yeah. You know, hey, you know, we want to start training dogs. But if you have a company, say the dog food company or something else you're working on, knock on that door and, hey, we want to buy you. You're not, I mean, you're going to look at the values of that company, I would bet, a little bit. For sure. So they don't ruin what you've built.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's a big part of it. And to me, the key is that, you know, while a lot of businesses or industries are in that position where it doesn't really make sense to buy them out, there's something within that industry or brand that can be an offshoot enter the products that I do. You know, like it wouldn't make sense for me to try to sell like my online training or the one-on-one stuff or the personal protection dogs. Like that has to be me doing that.
Yeah.
You know, but food, treats, products, you know, things that are inanimate objects that I, you know, help design or collaborate with an already existing manufacturer on, and take a product that they may have that I like, but needs some tweaking for it to be what I want it to be for what I do and what have you, using kind of that real-time feedback of my experience in the dogs, whether it's warrior dogs, protection dogs, house pets, et cetera, is that, you know, using that in conjunction with, just like I was talking about with the cars, you know, somebody that already has all of the infrastructure in place to make things at an efficient, lower cost, you know, that's the best scenario. And so, you know, for anybody out there that thinks, well, you know, nobody's ever going to buy my shit out or whatever, like that may be true, but, you know, the key is the slight pivot from what you're doing into something where you can build a brand and ultimately get that purchased, you know. But
Yep. And I'm going to come back to Mike about some dog stuff in a minute, but I don't want to get too far away from the VW group.
that's right.
Because let's talk about the Porsche Cayenne Turbo GT.
Yeah.
That thing is a monster, 631 horsepower. From what I've read, watched, and learned, the reason the price is so high, they're starting at 182. Both you and I have spec'd one, and I think both our specs were closer to 260, 270.
Yeah, Porsche is maybe even worse than Indian in terms of for fucking shit you have to buy.
Oh, you want seat belts? Bitch,
Yeah.
that's extra.
Yeah.
Oh, you want all the seat belts?
Oh, you want a windshield in there? That'll be $2,000 extra dollars.
Good Lord.
That's extra.
Yeah.
So the SUV did the Nürburgring or Nordschleife in 7:38.9.
Just 4 seconds faster than the Audi RSQ8, which, here's my take on that, is that while, yes, like, if you take, you know, 704 to 7 or 7 to 656, that's a pretty significant difference. You know, 4 seconds on that track is, I wouldn't say it's a lot, but it's significant, which maybe sounds contradictory. But to me, like, when you look at something, say the Porsche 911 Turbo S, does 717, I think. You know, that compared to, say, the GT3 RS, which does it in 656, that's a big goddamn difference.
Yeah.
You know, especially when you're talking about a 12-mile lap, you know, a couple of seconds is a lot less of a difference than, say, you know, the Ferrari track Fiorano, where, you know, half a second is a big goddamn deal because the total lap times, you know, the fast lap times are the high, you know, 119, 118, I think is the SF90. The Piste is 121. You know, that's a lifetime. You know, 3 seconds on that track is enormous. 3 seconds on the Nürburgring, by comparison, is not nearly as much. And so my take on that, while it's an impressive car, and I think it's a really good mix of everything, I still would put it in that same category, though, of now you're kind of making it even worse in terms of taking even more of the practicality out of it, because I don't know if you watched that Doug DeMuro review of it.
Not yet.
But, you know, he's like, you know, this is the fastest SUV I've ever driven, without a doubt. You know, even compared to the Urus, the RSQ8, the Cayenne, whatever. But, and even like the Quadrifoglio, the Alfa Romeo, which is a pretty good SUV also. But it's lower, it's much stiffer. Like the interior is actually kind of stripped down, almost like the GT cars, where there's a lot of button blanks within it, which I think is pretty lame for a car that costs that much.
Yeah.
It's basically the same Cayenne turbo interior with a bunch of shit that you can't get on it, but still the space there for it, which I think is lame.
Yeah, you should make a better
for that top end of a car. But it's also the coupe, which, you know, the Cayenne is not the most robust in terms of capacity, cargo capacity to begin with, and now you're making it even less practical. You know, so the back seats, same thing. Like all the seats are a lot stiffer and more kind of race bucket seat type seats as well. And so, like, to compare that to, say, a Turbo S or something, you know, similarly in that price range, it's nowhere near as fast as that.
Yeah.
But it's almost as impractical.
Yeah.
You know, so to me, like, I wonder who the fuck would buy that car.
Yeah.
You know, because you can take a Cayenne, an RSQ8, and Urus, which are quite a bit more comfortable, absolutely more practical, and you can tune those to where they're that fast.
Yeah.
Not yet on the brand new Cayennes, but I mean the RSQ8, the Urus. I mean, you can do a lot to those things to make them actually faster than than that GT Cayenne. So. Like I said, I wonder, while it's a neat concept and it's an amazing piece of technology, I wonder, like, who the fuck is that car for?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think it's a niche car, especially finding out that they're only going to be, it's a limited number car, which Porsche does that with the GT3, the GT2. But with limited numbers, you hear that and you think, okay, well, they're sold out. That's not necessarily the case. The GT3 is never sold all the way out.
Yeah.
The GT2 has never sold all the way out. The problem is the time to build one is so long. Sometimes when you get a GT2, it's already a year old. Mm-hmm. So while it's not a depreciating car, in my mind, I've already depreciated a year of that car because, well, fuck, it's a year old.
Yeah.
At that point, I'd rather just buy a used one.
Yeah. I mean, I guess to me, I guess the one saving grace, it's kind of similar to the Porsche GT cars are kind of similar to the Superleggeras that Ducati makes, is that if they're only making them every 3 or 4 years, then that's not as big of a kick in the dick, you know. Whereas, you know, what was it, the GT500 you were looking at? Like they're telling you it's going to be a 21 or a 20 at the end of this year.
So I could have put a crazy deposit down. It would be here in December, and it was a 21.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's basically the year is over.
It's done.
Yeah, it's already a year old, especially given that most manufacturers, you can get the next year's model in, you know, September, October of the previous year, you know, so.
It's like the TRX I have coming in. I checked with the guy the other day, because again, I'm still up on the fence. And the 2022s are hitting lots. And I said, what year is mine? It's a 2021. Why the fuck do I want that? It's already depreciated a year of a car that people are marking up like crazy.
Yeah.
But I can't buy it, mark it up that high because it's already depreciated. It's a year old.
Yeah.
And it's silly. But the good thing, like you said, the GT cars, they're a little bit different. They're a different breed.
Yeah, I mean, they're so specific to track use and performance, kind of similarly to the Pista that way in terms of the interior. You know, when you get in it, like, this isn't a tech car, this is a fucking race car.
Yeah.
And you feel that. You feel it when you get in, you feel it when you start it, you feel it while you're driving it. You know, so it's just kind of in a different category that way. But anyway, I mean, ultimately the car is impressive. I mean, if Porsche is saying that it's 3.1, 0-60, it's probably a 2.9.
Yeah.
You know, which is mind-boggling. You know.
What's the new Tesla Plaid? Do you know off the top of your head?
The 0-60.
Yeah.
It's 2.2, 2.1.
So I mean, you're taking a gasoline SUV, and I would bet it's 2.9, 2.8.
Yeah.
That's pretty fucking impressive for
sure
the weight of that vehicle.
Yeah.
And while tying that into something else we talked about, the GT500 and the Tesla Plaid.
Yeah.
You sent me videos of a Tesla Plaid, which is an impressive car to be able to buy standard. It's what, 130?
Yeah.
135. You can buy it for 135, and it's quick as hell. The range on it's not as good as it used to be, but it's still not bad for what it does.
It's still usable.
Yeah, but it has like an airplane steering wheel, which is dumb as hell. Elon, you're an idiot. Nobody wants to do that. You can't drift that shit. You can't go crazy
and
with
just
that.
like if you have to turn fast and more than 45 degrees, how the fuck are you going to pull that off? Like it's just dangerous.
Yeah. I mean, race car drivers have special steering wheels for that reason. If they're out of control, they can grab it and do what they got to do. They're not sitting there with an airplane style steering wheel.
I don't get it. But
yeah. Elon, you're a rich idiot.
Yeah, less points of contact on a steering wheel is not good for people. They need to be able to grab that thing from any angle because people are dumb.
But well, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, to me, that the Tesla, is a modern engineering marvel.
It is.
No
100%.
two ways about it.
And I mean, it's led Tesla or Porsche, the Volkswagen Group, to try to find them.
Yeah, and other manufacturers are trying to keep up. And there's that Rincon Croatian fucking car that, you know, is just silly.
It's a bad bitch.
You know, but several $1 million. I mean, for 130 grand, you know, which is the price of an M5 and E63, you know, ish, to get that kind of performance, a 4.5, 60 to 130, a low 2, you know, 0 to 60, a 9.2 or 9.3 quarter mile on fucking stock tires, unprepped surface, like that's silly.
Yeah.
You know, it really is. It's incredible. At the end of the day, though, it's still a fucking Tesla. Like, I still look at it and, like, I have no desire to have, I don't give a fuck how fast it is. Like, it just doesn't do anything for me, you know, because it's not all about speed. If it was, I'd have kept the R8 that was running even faster than that, you know. Like, I had that car and I got rid of it because I like a car that's actually a fair bit slower, but 10 fucking thousand times more fun to drive, you know, so.
And the beauty of the Tesla, and why we brought up the GT500, if you search hard enough, you can find a GT500 I found them for 94, low 90s, decent miles on them, you know, 3,000, 4,000 miles on them. Yeah, it's not the track pack, all the carbon and shit on there. But if you're drag racing it, that's not as big of a deal because you're going to change your wheels and tires anyways. Yeah. You're not going to drag race on the carbon wheels. You're going to want to change it to drags. You could spend that 90 grand, 95 grand, put $15,000 in it. I would say at the top end, 15, 20 grand, and go spank the shit out of that Tesla.
Yeah.
And have an amazing sounding fucking car to do it.
Yeah.
And
yeah, there's certainly better options that if you're willing to put the work into it and do the aftermarket stuff that is still better. No two ways about it. I mean, not just in performance, but obviously, you know, stacking a GT500 next to a Tesla look, sound, driving experience, I mean, there is no comparison, you know.
Yeah.
But
no, I mean, all day long I'd take the GT500. The GT500 is a great car. We both would love to get our hands on driving one, be a part of one, but the markup in the market right now, I won't pay 20 grand over for a fucking Mustang. Yeah. I'm sorry, at the end of the day, it's still a fucking Mustang.
Yeah.
There's very few cars that I see myself spending over MSRP on. There's some good ones out there that you're just going to have to, you know, the new Porsche. The Black Series people are doing it. I don't think they should be, because if you find the right dealer, you can order that bitch at sticker. Yeah. But there's dumbasses paying double MSRP on that new Black Series.
Yeah, it's nuts.
And if you have a Black Series and you're watching, I want to race you, bitch. I think my Kirkland Hans PTG turbo car will kick the shit out of them.
Yeah.
What's another one you pay over sticker? There was a time the Pista was over sticker, and I think some of them still are, depending on the spec.
The GT3.
The GT3, yeah.
I mean, fucking almost everything that Porsche makes that's not a Cayenne or similar. It's not one of their SUVs. I mean, any like fuck, even the Carrera 4S's, the GT.
They're going above the GT4s.
GT4, the fucking, I mean, all of them are above. You know, the GT3, the 992 Turbo S, all of the GT cars, the 2RS, the 3RS, those are all, you're going to pay, you know, 20, 30, 50,000 over fucking sticker, you know, which is nuts.
But the thing is, if you call your bank or for instance, our bank, if you call them and say, hey, I want to buy this Porsche, it's 20,000 over sticker, and they're like, okay, no big deal. I want to buy this Mustang, it's 20,000 over sticker, and they're, bitch, you're crazy. Yeah. They'll hang up on you, or a new phone, who this? And
yeah, it's just not going to hold it. You know,
but. It's not, and they're trying to do it with the red eyes and shit out there right now. There's some people marking them up, and it's like, it's an American car that drops value like crazy.
Yeah.
So for those of you people who say we never talk about budget cars, you can get a Dodge, a Hellcat in the low 50s, 60s with low miles, or you can go buy a new one where some dumbass dealer's trying to mark it up.
C63S, fucking M3, M4.
Yeah, C63, that's a badass. You know, people want a budget car, go get you a C63S. What you can really do, which I just found out, if you can find someone like me that changed the turbos on the GTRs, and you put those turbos in, you can pick them up for about $3-4 grand. Those turbos are actually like upgrading to an aftermarket turbo, and it's all plug and play, and you can go kick the shit out of people.
Yeah, new turbos, tuned down pipe, and meth, and a C63, and you're fucking stomping almost everything out there for, under $100,000.
Yeah. Which isn't bad at all.
Yeah. I mean, not for that performance. I mean, $100,000 is a lot of money for a vehicle. No two ways about it. Mm-hmm. But especially if it's one that's not your primary driver, that's, you're getting you to work or to whatever, if it's one that you're just having for fun. But if you're at that point where you're looking for a car that's just to enjoy, then obviously monetarily, like, you're in a better spot than living paycheck to paycheck, so, mm-hmm. And there's obviously tiers of performance levels that are going to cost, to me there's sub 6 figures, there's the 6 and multi 6 figure, and then there's, the million plus hypercar stuff that very, very few people, are ever going to be able to afford. But
yeah, one day.
What else you got on that magic fucking list?
So the next one I got, and this one could turn into something crazy, so don't let me forget that I got to bring up dogs.
All right, hold on to your hats.
Okay. I brought this up yesterday, and we kind of got into it, and I was like, I'm going to stop asking questions because this would be a great thing to talk about on the show. Thoughts on the military forcing people to take vaccines?
Oh, God. That is a good one. Yeah, all right.
Well, I mean, so to me, it's pretty simple. I actually had I don't know if you'd call it a family friend. I mean, just somebody where their son went into the SEAL pipeline here just over the spring time frame, and I met with him like a year and a half ago. I wouldn't say that I mentored him. I mean, I talked to him a couple of times and gave him some advice, and his family linked us up and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, they reached out to me asking basically that same thing, like, hey, is there any way to, avoid, or does he have any course of action where he doesn't have to take it? And the short answer is not really. With the military, you can have your thoughts on it, and I do, and I think you should be given the option. What I think is that, yes, I think, if you volunteer to put your life on the line for this country, you should have the autonomy and the personal freedom of choice to say, no, I don't want that, for a lot of things, not just a corona vaccine. I think, for anything like that, they shouldn't make it mandatory. I can tell you from personal experience, before we went into Iraq, and before every deployment, we were a fucking human pincushion. Like, I got shit, I have no idea even what the fuck they gave me. Before going to the Philippines and, eating bats and shit out of the jungle, I mean, they'd give you all sorts of Japanese encephalitis fucking shots and tetanus and fucking, we got anthrax shots and smallpox before we went into Iraq. And I wasn't, at that time, I didn't really pay attention. I didn't really give a shit. I just was kind of like, yeah, that's what you have to do, whatever. But my point is in the military, that's kind of the deal, is that just like when you sign up for Instagram, an Instagram account as an example, is that, you can not like their rules. You can not like, the fucking 19 paragraphs that they make you read for terms and conditions and sign off on when you sign up for there. But that's the reality of it, is that, I see people getting platforms shut down and bitching about freedom of speech and all this, and well, hey, that does suck. Here's the deal, is that, somebody created that platform and you signed up for it. Mm-hmm. So if your business relies on that platform to make money and you're pushing the envelope, now if that's your brand and that's how you make your living, fine, but that's also, that's part of how that works. I mean, fucking Trump got banned, for Christ's sake, he's the president.
Yeah.
But these are by platforms that somebody started, and no different than, like, this is a much, obviously a fraction of a percentage of a comparison, but the principle is the exact same, is that I have my online training program. There's forums in there, mm-hmm. right? People have the ability to message each other, but on these forums, like, if somebody starts talking shit, nonstop, or lying or causing trouble, whether it's about me and another person, just being a total asshole, like, yeah, there's probably going to come a point where I'm going to say, okay, well, fuck this guy. Now, that's not happened, but the potential is there, and I can see in that, like, if it got to the point where, like, somebody is constantly being a pain in my ass, I may say, okay, well, fucking get rid of that guy then. Yeah. But my point is that legally you can do that. You know,
Yeah.
now I haven't done that, but and like I have no desire to read people's messages. But I tell you right now, Facebook, Instagram, like there are troves of people that have the ability to read your messages, you know, and go through your content and manipulate what you see, how, you know, what people see of yours, you know, and all that stuff. And that's just part of you signing up for them. You know, that's the unfortunate reality of it. And if you don't like it, then don't sign up for it. But it's that same thing in the military, is that, you know, when you join the military, like there's going to be things like that they're going to make you go somewhere where you may not want to go. They may make you do something you don't want to fucking do. They may make you want to fight somebody you don't want to fight. I doubt it. You know, most of the people that we fight, everybody's pretty, you know, pretty much on the same page on wanting to go fucking do some terrible shit to them. But you know, you just don't know, you know, and that's part of signing up for it. So while I think, and I wish that it was that way, the reality of it is it's not.
Yeah.
You know, and so if you do sign up for that, or for social media, or you go work for Walmart and they say if you want to work here you got to get vaccinated, do I think that that's cool? No, I don't. Like as an employer, I would never do that with my employees. But Walmart gets to run their company how the fuck they want to run their company, and you can work for them or you can not work for them.
Yeah.
But I think when, you know, it's an equal problem when the government steps in and says you have to do this or you can't make people do that or whatever, is that I don't want the government telling me I have to do something. I also don't want the government telling any business that they can't do something or have to do something.
Yeah.
You know, and again, like I wouldn't run my business that way, but and even though I don't agree with that, Walmart should have the ability to run their business how the fuck they want to run their business. And if that's, you have to get a vaccine if you want to work for us, they should be allowed to do that. They should.
Yeah.
You know, you're just not going to get me to see that any other way. I can't imagine, you know, so that's my take on all of it.
Yeah, and it's like the people that bitch about, well, Target wants me to start wearing masks again. We've talked about this multiple times.
Don't go there.
You don't have to go there.
Yeah.
Well, they have this one thing I need. Guess what, bitch? Buy it online.
Yeah. Or, you know, figure out
Another way.
Either decide it's not that big of a deal, or figure out a different way to get whatever you need done.
Yeah.
You know,
People nowadays want to find something, and we talked about this last night.
to bitch about.
Just bitch about stuff. And the most fucked up thing about our society nowadays is you don't even have to be in the category to want to bitch about it. You just have to want to bitch about something and start a group to want to bitch about. You know, we talked about stupid people.
Yeah.
Do stupid people have anybody bitching for them? Well, yeah, they're called Democrats. But no, but you have people that just want to pick shit and bitch. You know, you got, I would say the majority of the people doing the BLM stuff are fucking white people that don't have shit else to do. And even some of the BLM people are like, you motherfuckers are stupid.
Yeah.
You know, and you made shit go crazy. I mean, that's just our society. Our society's fucked right now.
We're in a funny spot with technology, right? Because everybody's got a cell phone and everybody's on the internet all the time, or at least most people are. And when you're on the internet taking in information, right, from social media and everywhere, you feel like you want to, you know, make a splash. You want to have a voice. You want to say something of your own. You want to voice your opinion. Everybody's on Twitter doing it. So yeah, we have this society now where we're all just constantly outputting. How do you feel about something? Get on the internet and say it. What do you think about something? Hit the comments and tell us what you think. And I think, yeah, that breeds this idea that, like, God, everybody's complaining all of the time about everything. Mm-hmm. Never stops.
Yeah, I think at a more 30,000 foot view or a more root level, it's, you know, our entire society has been so successful for so long that there's very little real struggle. You know, there is some, but there's much more that's perceived and manufactured than actually exists. And it's because human beings are designed to struggle and to suffer and to have to overcome things, you know, just like all animals are, whether it's harsh winters or predators or whatever. And because we're so technologically advanced that we don't have those things anymore to really worry about. You know, when was the last time most people had to really worry about where their next meal was coming from? You know, or a roof over their head. You know, are there some people? Yes. But even homeless people in this country, like, you know, they have resources. They still survive. It's not as rough as it was 200 years ago for a lot of people, or God forbid, like the pioneers back, you know, expanding west. You know, I mean, it's just such a different fucking mentality and situation that we find ourselves in. And so the thing that makes people the most miserable, and this is something that I've gathered that I talk about in the new book that's coming out here soon, is that, you know, the key to happiness is purpose. You know, that's the age-old question: is what's the meaning of life? And the irony is it's meaning. You know, is that I've met people that have, you know, an absurd amount of money that are some of the most miserable fucking people I've ever met in my life, because money does not inherently or by itself make you happy. Now, again, if you have purpose and you're doing something that means something to you that you feel good about, having a lot of money makes it that much better. But by itself, it doesn't have the kind of intrinsic value that I think a lot of people think that it does, or that will make them feel like it has if they have a bunch of it. What makes people happy is feeling like what they're doing means something, you know, and that purpose. If you don't have that, you will find something to feel that way about, and I think that's where we're at in our society, is that we've got droves of people that have so little else going on in their life that they have to, and they have a genetic fucking function and need to attach themselves to something to feel like it's a cause, like it's a purpose, like that it's something that they have that can be theirs, and that they're passionate about and they're fighting for and struggling with and whatever. And so that's why you have you know, what you have today. And Bill Maher, as much as I don't like him in a lot of ways, sometimes he knocks it out of the park with some pretty objective viewpoints given his political stance. But one of the things that he did in one of his rants was his New Rule segment on Real Time with Bill Maher on HBO, is he said, you know, new rule is you can't be more offended than the victim. You know, is that you've got groups of people that aren't even the victim that are more offended than the person that's actually the victim. Mm-hmm. You know, a good case in point is changing the Redskins or the Indians, you know, names. Is it, you know, 99.9% of the people that are stomping their fucking feet and banging their fists in the fire and brimstone pulpit-like speeches about how it's racist and derogatory and all this other shit are people that have no fucking skin in the game, no pun intended.
Yeah. They don't even live in Cleveland, yeah.
You know, I mean, they're not fucking Native American. They don't live in Cleveland. They don't live in Washington. I mean, they have no fucking connection to it whatsoever. Most importantly is that they have no reason to be offended. Mm-hmm. It's not even their fucking gig, you know, and yet there they are marching. It's like, motherfucker, if you got time to march, you've got too much time on your hands.
Get a job.
I mean, plain and simple, like you do. Either that or you're that goddamn wealthy to where you're, you know, you're a philanthropist, you know, and you're independently wealthy and you can just go march for causes. But I would love to know what the percentage of the people who are, you know, in Washington fucking fighting whatever, you know, fill that category or fit into that category. I would be very, very shocked if it was any of them. Yeah. You know, but anyway, that's my perspective on it.
So I believe it is the Cleveland Indians. No, I know the Washington Redskins changed their name.
Yeah, the Indians are changing theirs too.
Are they?
Yeah.
I thought that got banned here recently because they figured out where the name came from.
The last I heard, which was just in the last few weeks, is that they're changing their name also. But
yeah, and Jemima, right? I mean, that's how we do it.
I mean, it's all that stuff, and it's like
the Aunt Jemima family. You read that story?
Yeah,
they're so pissed right now.
Yeah,
are they?
Dude, well, I mean, you know the residuals that family was getting off of that.
Well, I mean, not only that, but it's that, you know, that's the thing that I think is so ironic about this whole thing, is that you're washing the history, even if this person may find it offensive or derogatory. As the fact is you're erasing them.
Yes.
You know, them meaning whatever category of people that you think is offensive towards them, when you're not even in that goddamn category, it's like you're deleting them from history. How the fuck is that better? You know, I mean, The other part of that too is that, look at all the statues that have been torn down, the brands that have been fucking whitewashed of everything that might have any connection to anything that somebody may potentially perceive as derogatory. Are we getting along any better because of that? No, it's worse.
It's worse. Because those who erase history, you're going to repeat it.
Well, yeah, and I mean, it's just, it's absurd.
So this story came out, and the actual families are starting to fight this. So the Cleveland Indians' name used to be the Spiders. They were the Cleveland Spiders. They were led by a pitcher, Ohio native, C.Y. Young, and he was Indian. So they went to his tribe and all that and asked to rename the Spiders to be the Cleveland Indians.
Yeah.
And they were like, yes, we would be honored.
Yeah.
So instead of honoring these people, you're not making fun of them. The name was built to honor them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I hope that has some traction. My point is it shouldn't even take that.
No.
I mean,
I'm Native American, and I think out of all people who should be offended and bitch about any type of racism in the United States, it's the fucking Indians. I mean, they got their whole country took over some blankets.
Yeah, I mean, the history of the world is that. I mean, pick a fucking country. Pick any fucking country. It's been taken over dozens of times by different groups of people.
Every form of human, white, black, Chinese, whatever you are, every race has been a slave at some point, has been taken over by somebody else.
Yeah.
It's just human nature. It don't make any one better than the other, but to name someone, a place or anything, change the street names because, this is racist. Shut up.
Yeah.
How about that? How about you just shut the hell up? School buses are yellow. That's racist.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's a challenge, man. Like,
It's really not, though. Just everybody shut the fuck up and go get a job.
Okay.
Spend that time and get a job.
Yeah.
Take your time, educate yourself in something, because I guarantee most of these people bitching are the motherfuckers who are sitting there on Friday talking about, man, I can't afford to take my kids out. You know what we should do? We should go march about Nike while we're wearing our Nikes and talk about how shitty Nike is.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, hold on a second. Like, yes, I agree. People clearly need more to do. Yes, 100%. Shit that is way more productive. Yeah, but like, a lot of our cultural icons, our idols, right? They're people in Hollywood. They're pop stars, and for younger folks, they're influencers, right? They're teenagers and 20-year-olds on the internet, and these are people who make millions of dollars a year just by being themselves and just by expressing themselves and their opinions on the internet. Now that's PR'd, right? And it's whitewashed, like you said, for sure, but a lot of people look at those folks on the internet, influencers as we call them, and they go, well, hold on, why do I got to go get a 9-to-5? Why can't I do that? They're just expressing themselves. You got Logan Paul doing whatever he wants on the internet, fighting Floyd Mayweather. Why can't I be that way, right? Maybe if I express myself, I can fall into that too. And I think people start to look at it as an industry, as an opportunity, and
well,
that's a real slippery slope for the whole world when it comes to the internet, because we can't all be that way.
No, the problem is most of those people are ugly.
I mean, to me, nothing says that anybody can't do that. But here's the rub: is that just like what he said, and I know we've talked about this statistically. Like, you have better odds, literally better odds of winning the lottery than becoming a YouTube sensation.
Yeah,
you do. And so, while yes, why can't I do that? You can, and maybe you'll be able to, but chances are you won't. And so, in that case, then you need to have a fucking plan B.
Yeah.
Or have a plan A and have that be plan B that you're working on in the side, which we've talked about several times. Is that do something that's going to do what you need it to do in terms of taking care of things in the interim while you try to set up whatever it is that your dream gig is. But to me, that mentality that you're talking about, Zach, is one that plagues millennials, or plagues younger generations right now.
Yes.
And it reminds me of National Lampoon's Vacation. When Chevy Chase's family goes and visits Cousin Eddie and says, hey, is he going to get a fucking job? Well, he's holding out for a management position. Like that's what that is.
Yeah, no, it is. Yeah, for sure.
I mean, 100%. It's like, motherfucker, you don't have the freedom and the flexibility financially to hold out for a management position. You can run your mouth on social media, but if that's not paying your fucking bills, then all you are is a blowhard fucking mouthpiece that clearly nobody gives a shit about. Because if they did, you'd be famous for it.
It's true.
You know,
and going out finding jobs hard, right?
It's not.
Well, I think it can be, especially for people like you said who are disaffected and have this idea,
that are entitled pricks that have never had to do anything. It probably is hard and scary and challenging.
Right, and posting on the internet is easy. In the same way, getting a job with DoorDash or Uber, right? Like, you can just go drive. You don't have to go interview. You don't have to talk to anybody. You just click here, and we will start your employment. And a lot of people, I think, look at that as quality living, and it's not. It's half life. Like, you're not quite there. You don't have a fullness, So you get on the internet and you keep posting and you just keep tweeting, and it's the worst.
Well, the key is, you mentioned the key word 3 times in there is influencers, and this show is uninfluenced because both myself, we've never been influenced by anybody to do the shit that we do, and we say what the fuck we want to say.
It's nice.
That's me speaking for us. I've dug ditches. I've delivered pizzas. I've fucking sold my body. I've been plumbing. Okay, one of those I didn't do. But
have you ever sold bodily fluids? Because
no, I actually haven't. I won't even give my blood because I don't want to know my blood type. That's my blood, and fuck y'all.
Just tell the doctor. I don't want to know. Don't tell me.
Don't tell me.
Yeah.
It's a surprise.
Right.
But I don't get why everybody thinks they have to be influenced by somebody else to make every decision. Yeah, in some cases, I would say I do get influenced, I do ask Mike's opinion, and it's not as much influence. There's times I'm asking him about a car. What do you think of this car? And then I become an asshole and I said that right, A-S-K, hole,
yep.
Asshole.
Yeah.
And the reason is, Mike will be like, oh, this is a good car, and I'll go buy the total opposite car, talking about, no, fuck your car. But I want his opinion because
I want to know what the opposite is that I need to do.
Well, some of the stuff I haven't got a chance to drive, you've drove, and vice versa. Some of the things I've drove that you haven't. And we both ask opinions on what thoughts are. I wouldn't say it's as much influence, other than the Aprilia, you influenced me to get that.
Well,
but it's a great fucking decision.
Yeah, to me, the term influence, I think as it relates to social media and whatever, kind of hinges on one principle that I am pretty adamant against, which is if somebody who has an opinion is somebody who I wouldn't ask their advice on something, then I truly do not give a fuck what their opinion is.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, I think, mistake that. It's, if I have like the not the last guest, Michelle, but Kyle on, and talking about religion, there was a couple of comments about, dude, what, like, that's your question, like asking about, why is there evil, blah, 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 or dude, you're so lost, or, whatever. And it's like, I have no idea who you are, no idea what kind of person, you hold yourself to be. I would never solicit advice from you in this medium of saying, hey, here's a problem I'm having, what do you think? I would never ask your advice on anything.
Yeah.
So where does that sense of entitlement on the commenters' end come from on assuming that I give a flying fuck what they think? Because I don't.
Yeah.
Am I influenced by people that I actually want their opinion? Absolutely, which is why I ask their opinion, know. But to me, that kind of benchmark of influenced versus uninfluenced stems from the masses, from social media, from brands, from people that you don't know. Like, the last thing I want to be is influenced by somebody that I don't give a shit what their opinion is anyway. But anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're 100% right, and it's a problem for sure. I don't know.
Yeah, it's the country's being run by people who want to be told what to do, and I always get a kick out of the commenters, and it's like, okay, at this point, what have you done? 72 shows, 71, some shit like that?
I don't even know. I've done a handful of Q&As and dog specific ones that aren't in the total tally. So
I just get stuck on 69.
Yeah, 75, 80, somewhere in there.
Yeah. 69 was my favorite show.
Why did I laugh at that?
So
Sick fuck.
You got all these shows. So if you're not happy about you, Mike, talking to a transgender chief, it's this fucking simple. So for those of y'all that are listening, not watching, I took my hand and I made the mouse click to where I hit the X button. X. I don't have to thumbs down it. I don't have to come to comment and write all this shit. I can That's an X. It's right there.
Yeah.
And I can go to another episode to where, oh shit, I want to see about Michelle Black, or I want to see the religious side of this. You really want to fuck shit up? Go watch the transgender interview, then go watch Kyle.
Yeah.
You really blow your fucking mind that 7 hours.
Well, I mean, to me, to be fair, like, yeah, you're certainly welcome to thumbs down and to comment. It's just, I just don't care. You know, like if you think that you criticizing me over, you know, my thought process on religion is going to impact how I think about it, it just isn't. You know, I truly don't give a fuck what you think because I don't know you. Now, I'm not saying that I wouldn't have a conversation with you, but in that platform where it's in the comment section of a video that I posted for free, and you've got some, you know, plain Jane like John Smith fucking name with no picture on an account that was created 3 days ago with 2 followers. Dude, come on. You know, like you're literally a fucking nobody, you know, and you're either a troll or just trying to cause problems. One thing that I do think at the point that we're at now that I truly believe and I would be okay with, and I think the government should do and would make a huge goddamn difference, is that every social media account, whether it's YouTube, whether it's Twitter, fucking Instagram, Facebook, whatever, is that just like the verifying process is that every account has to be verified. To me, that would solve a lot of fucking problems. You want a Facebook account? Let me see your ID. Like you have to be fucking, you know, who you say you are, and you're a registered fucking profile, so you can't hide.
Yeah.
You know, like that would solve a lot of the fucking cyber crime and bullying and bullshit problems that exist out there. Now, are there ways around that with fake IDs? And yes. But I'll tell you right now, like, it would discourage 99.9% of all the troll-like bullshit out there of people bullying, whether it's Simone Biles or fucking me or I mean anybody, is that you know, the shit slinging and the decorum that's at a level that's so low that makes us look worse than fucking most animals most of the time in terms of how we treat each other on social media. Like, that would just alleviate a lot of that. You know? But
yeah, that's the thing. You can be a pussy and not have to actually verify who you are.
People tie up this idea of like anonymity having power, and I think it can in the case of something like a free press, I guess. I don't really understand it, but
no, I mean,
when it comes to the internet, it's too much. People abuse it. Like, clearly, people cannot handle having free access to you know, unregistered accounts where you don't know who anybody is. They can get on and be a keyboard warrior. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in terms of spreading, you know, false fucking whatever, that's a dicey subject, and that, you know, that is still freedom of speech, and I don't think that should be stifled. I just think you should have to prove who the fuck you are to say it. You know, is that if you want to say whatever the fuck you want to say, you ought to be able to do that. I just don't think you should be able to do it as a ghost.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, the thing is, if I wouldn't walk up to you in public and be like, Mike, there was a shitty show and you had some dumbass question.
I mean,
if I don't have the balls to do that, shut the fuck up on the internet.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree. It just breeds fucking mudslinging and bullying and whatever. Which to me the problem with it is as kids experience that, you see a detrimental impact. Like, I'm at a point in my life where I'm not losing any fucking sleep over that.
Yeah.
But for the 13-year-old, you know, that fucking hangs themselves because 37 of their fucking classmates jumped their shit on Snapchat and fucking degraded them nonstop. Like, I think that's bullshit, you know?
Yeah.
But again, like, if any profile that you have, whether it's on Snapchat, Facebook, you know, fucking whatever, is that you should be held accountable for that, you know? No different than your fucking driver's license.
Yeah.
You know, is that, like, if I go do anything, really, I've got to prove who I say I am to do it. You know, if I have to prove who I say I am to open a checking account or to vote, in most places, not all places, I do think that should be a fucking legal requirement. But you know, for any of those things, to go to the doctor, I mean, fucking pick up a prescription, right? Like, I can't just be like, oh, I'm so-and-so. Like, oh, I'm the guy that fucking thing's filled for in the back.
What's the best hydrocodone you got? Because that's me.
You know, like, there's a reason why there are a lot of elements of our society require that you prove who you say you are to do certain things. I also find it ironic in that a lot of the people who would maybe be against that are also for making you prove that you're vaccinated before you can go into a fucking restaurant. You know, to me, like, trying to have that fucking both ways. And again, it's one of those things I don't agree with. But I also think if you as an employer or a restaurateur or whatever, if you want to say you have to have a vaccine to come into my restaurant or work for me, they should be allowed to do that. But I also think that you know, you should have the ability to require people to prove who they say they are to start social media accounts also.
Yeah, and that gives us the right to not eat at your restaurant.
Yeah.
You fuck stick.
But to me, just be consistent.
Yeah.
Ultimately.
Don't be all over the place. Yeah, and we always go back to when we were kids. When we were kids, there were notes and shit like that. There wasn't a FaceTime and all this other bullshit, you know, get on Instagram and talk shit. You talk shit at school and I didn't like it, I'll just come beat your ass.
Yeah.
Now you can make up fake shit, you know, go do blah, blah, blah. And like you said, kids are committing suicide over it. Whatever happened to ISS suspension and you just getting the shit beat out of you, or your principal giving you licks.
Yeah.
You remember, I don't know how it was there, but in Texas, we had to bring home a piece of paper. Washington, I don't think we did. I think your parents could call, but my dad refused it, and he wrote a letter to the principal. Don't spank my boy. Let me know when he fucks up, and I'll be up there.
Yeah.
I'll take care of that for you.
And I'll be damned if he didn't come up there once or twice and spank my ass.
Yeah.
You know, which is way more embarrassing than letting the principal, because the principal's going to have some give and not just beat your ass. But your dad, oh, he's going to come beat the shit out of you.
Yeah.
He'll make you walk out of the hall crying like a little bitch.
Yeah.
But you can't do that to kids nowadays because they're weak.
Yeah.
And
Why
we
not?
get on social media and we talk shit. We need to figure out that happy medium. Social media is a great tool, great advertising,
Yeah, I mean-
but we weaken our society.
Yeah, I mean, to me, like I said, that's the simplest fix, in my opinion, is that you think about how much bullshit would disappear if when you posted something, everybody knew who the fuck you were.
Yeah.
Just think about that for a second.
Yeah.
Like, there is a lot of bullshit that would stop getting slung if that was the case. You want to go on Twitter and run your fucking mouth to somebody? I know exactly who the fuck you are.
Yeah.
You know, and not just the people with the blue check marks, every fucking buddy.
Yeah, everybody.
You know, to me, like, I think that's an easy solution that would fix a lot of fucking problems. You know, is it the end all be all going to fix everything? No, but I think that's a good goddamn start.
Yeah, just demand accountability.
Yeah, I mean,
you have to
makes
stand by what you say.
it makes everybody think before they start running their fucking mouth.
I'll tell you what, though, the first 6 months of that
Oh, it'd be
passing,
it'd be brutal.
Dude, it'd be fucking,
be hilarious.
brutal and fucking amazing.
hilarious.
Yeah, it'd be amazing, because people would forget. They'd be drunk, go fucking running their mouth, and then like, oh shit.
I mean, you just imagine seeing a car fucking hauling ass around town, and then you just slip in behind them like, what the fuck they're doing? Then they knock on the door, beat the shit out of somebody, and jump back in the car.
Sure.
It'd just be fucking amazing for a good 6 months.
Yeah.
You know, you almost tell the cops, okay, if some ass whippings happen, just give them a ticket.
Yeah.
You know, here, you beat the shit out of somebody. Here's $100.
Yeah.
You know,
But I mean, as serious as the consequences are with social media accounts, I mean, you have to be 16 and pass tests to get a driver's license. You have to do the same thing for concealed carry. You have to do the same thing for a lot of things, you know, for drinking alcohol, for smoking cigarettes. Like, you have to be of a certain age and prove that you are who you say you are to do these things.
Yeah.
I think social media accounts are every bit as fucking dangerous as any of those things that I mentioned.
oh, 100%.
You know, so why is there just no fucking accountability with that? I don't. To me, that's not an infringement of speech. Like, I don't see the problem with that. You know, it's a hurdle to jump through. It's logistically a nightmare for those social media companies. But fuck them.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's the least that they could fucking do. And it's not censoring anybody. Like, to me, it's calling your bluff. Like, do you really feel that way, or are you just like being a little chicken shit, yellow-bellied fucking coward that hides behind some fake account running your mouth like a tough guy that would never say that if people knew who the fuck you were?
Yeah.
You know, like, that's just gutless, you know? But it also, like, if you think that somebody's going to read that and have respect, like, nobody respects that person.
Yeah.
No.
You know, it's like, do you really think that anybody's looking like, oh, that guy really has a good point? Like, dude, you're a gutless fucking coward that isn't even confident enough in what you're saying to fucking reveal your own goddamn identity. Like,
Yeah.
you're a coward.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's the biggest difference between those people and the people they want to be, right? The difference between a keyboard warrior and an influencer is the influencer wears it on their sleeve. You guys wouldn't need to be verified because you kind of already are. People know who you are on the internet. You stand by what you say. You put your faces out there. That's it. Joe Schmo in the comments with like an anonymous profile pic who nobody knows, like you're not standing by anything, and that's ultimately what should matter.
Yeah. Quit being a bitch, Joe.
That's right.
Yeah. I 100% agree. We got too many bitches in our society. And not like hot bitches that want to fuck. We just bitches. So there was a weird question. We're going to go to dogs.
Oh, yeah. We're going to do dogs. That's right. Yeah.
So I told you people to stay tuned.
You did say that. You called your shot. All right, Babe Ruth.
Yeah. So dogs at the kennel.
Yeah.
People asked how many of the dogs are getting reformed and
rehabbed.
Yeah.
So it depends. I mean, I would say that, I started doing it back in 2010, August of 2010. So right at 11 years as of this month. And at this point, we've taken in about between 240 and 250 dogs.
Wow.
And, of that number, I would have to scrub through there and get an exact percentage, but a little less than half are ones that we're actually able to do something with, whether it's they're young enough or their issues are such to where we have the ability to spend enough time with them to rehab them. In most cases, usually within a few months, this dog has made a lot of improvement and I can see them getting to this point, or made very minimal improvement with a lot of work over a few months, and they're probably just going to be here in a sanctuary status and live out their life here at the facility. It's in the mid-40s percentile of the dogs we've been able to do that with. I don't have the exact percentile.
This is still a good turnaround.
Yeah, and some of those dogs, most of them are ones that we've just gotten to the point where we could rehome them to a more normal living environment and not be in a kennel facility environment. But in some cases, in a number of them, we've actually been able to rehab them and repurpose them to other departments. We actually just did that with a really nice dog that was young enough and had enough, kind of emotional intelligence to be able to transform him into a good working dog in conjunction with pairing him with a department with a little more experience, a little looser timeline. And the flexibility to be able to take a dog like that in and spend a little more time with them working through that process. Because one of the problems that happens a lot of times is that, we get dogs in that are a byproduct of just the infrastructure and the bureaucracy of police departments, where the people who are cutting the checks and making the big decisions for timelines and how many dogs and who, how many handlers we have and how we use them and that type of stuff are usually chiefs or higher level management that don't know shit about dogs, and so they're like, hey, we're spending tens of thousands of dollars on the dog and the equipment, we're pulling this handler away and sending them through months of training. I want that fucking dog on the street by this date, fucking certified out there paying us back, basically.
Yeah.
Putting in work and earning their fucking keep and not realizing that you really can't do that. You have to kind of look at it as a case-by-case basis. And so most times when we get the dogs in, they're younger dogs. I mean, they may be 3, 4, 5, 6 years old. They've still got years of life left, but they've just been rushed and handled a little too hard or improperly because they're all a little different. And so, we'll spend that time with them, get them to the point where, okay, hey, we kind of unwind their mind, hit the reset button a little bit, and then we find a department that is a little more understanding of that and has a little more fluidity in their timeline, and then we get that dog to them, and then they go back to work. So we've done that with a bunch of dogs. That's our primary goal with any of the dogs that are young enough to do that with. Sometimes we'll get dogs in that, within fucking 10 minutes of meeting them, like, this dog's plumb fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Just like with people, some dogs are just wired fucking squirrely. There's some shit crossed in their brain, and they're just not going to fucking make the transition into that normal life. Good news is it's still a no-kill scenario where we still, we just have the dog and still let them be a dog. We still play ball with them, exercise, give them good food, let them run around the ranch, acres and acres of fucking training field, as well as taking them on rides or letting them run into some of the wooded areas around there and whatever, and still, you know, give them some quality of life where they're not just sitting in a box like a fucking prisoner for the rest of their life, you know. But,
yeah, all the videos or anything I've seen of the place is real cool. I need to get out there and do some video work and check it out, and then I need to talk to Neil, the trainer, and be like, bitch, carjackings, you got to break windows, you cheap fuck. But
about out of time, huh?
I'm only talking shit because I know Neil watches this.
Shout out to Neil.
Yeah.
He's my fucking right-hand man out
I
there.
don't think I've ever heard you say a bad thing about Neil once. He seems like a cool dude.
Bet.
Other
Let's
than being Canadian, there's nothing bad to say about him.
Ooh, all right, I didn't know that.
No, he's
And
he's
you
as
can't
good.
talk bad about Canadians because those fuckers, even when they're mad,
they're still polite.
they're fucking nice as shit.
nice
Like,
folks.
sir, can you please go fuck yourself?
No,
Sorry.
he's as fucking solid as they come, man. Having him be with me for the last couple of years has given me an ability to do a lot of things that I just couldn't do before. You know, he just, like the level of trust I have in him to handle shit out there has been life changing.
Yeah.
You know, literally life changing. So shout out to Neil.
People don't realize in business you got to have people around you that you can trust to do shit, and that goes with training the dogs, feeding. I mean, every part of it. If you don't, whether dogs, plumbing, porn studio, whatever, you got to have the right amount of people or the right people around you, and you got to watch out for the poison.
I mean, to me, that's the biggest key in business as you grow is that, you know, unless you plan on being a sole proprietor where it's just you, and that's never going to grow, you know, past, it's not going to grow very far past where you started doing it by yourself. You've got to bring people in that bring people in that bring people in. I mean, that's how you grow and get to you know, medium and large and whatever. And the only way you can do that is super high quality people that are such that you can legitimately trust them to do what you need them to do without you being there keeping an eye on it. And that's hard to find sometimes.
Yeah, 100%. If it wasn't for my wife, I wouldn't be here
Yeah.
filming this stuff. Yeah, she runs the plumbing company. I'm just the license and the beautiful face behind it.
Hey, a goofy question. I was thinking about this the other day. The number on the side of one of your plumbing vans?
That's a phone number.
It's not your cell phone number. Where does that go?
My office.
Bend over, I'll show you.
Yeah.
You got a lot of nerve talking to me like that, Griswold.
I wasn't talking to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't want your cell phone number
Right.
inside
No.
of a phone,
Yeah.
man. But
Most people that call my cell phone, I don't want to talk to you.
I'm glad you got a number to go to, yeah.
And the no bullshit, the best thing I've had, I've said it several times. I've got a cell phone. When I switched to the new iPhone, my voicemail don't work. It's a blessing and a curse.
Yeah.
It's a blessing because when you leave a voicemail, I don't have to call you back.
Yeah.
It's a curse because I probably should have talked to some of those people, but fuck them. I haven't really lost any business behind it, so I guess it's a good thing.
Yeah.
But I don't. I try not to let my cell phone get out there too much. I only really try to talk to people I like or want to do business with, and if I don't reply to you, I don't probably like you. But yeah, that's it. Well, you got any questions?
I do. I think we're a little out of time, though. But I got a bunch. I've been working on them for a couple weeks. I got some notes.
give us one.
Yeah, one.
All right. Would either of you be interested in going to a rage room?
Like you want to have sex with us?
No, a rage room. Have you guys heard about this?
I have. I don't.
Okay, you would not go to one.
I do. Can I bring my gun?
I mean, what? Let's say you could.
Well, what I want to do is go to a rage room and then, you know how fill your party, kind of like you do on Call of Duty, and act like I don't know what's happening. When someone's running around with a bat, you can shoot them. Because it's like, I was threatened.
It's not a murder room. That's not what it is.
Well, we're going to make it that way.
Mike, I'm a little surprised you wouldn't be interested in going to one of these.
Yeah. So you know, whether you want to call it keeping. What?
Hold on. I should tell people what a rage room is for people who don't know. A rage room is this new idea. It's a little like the axe throwing thing that people do now. They go throw axes for an evening. Like that's an industry. Rage room is like a setup at one of those places where you can have a room where people set up like the staff set up, you know, breakable things, ceramics, plates, dishes, office printers, whatever you want, and they give you a series of weapons, baseball bat, axe, whatever, and you can buy like a half hour in the room to break whatever the hell you want. You got to sign a waiver, and you get a bunch of insurance things you got to sign. But then you can go nuts for 30 minutes, and you can rage, and it's a rage room, and people say it's like a good release. And I'm just curious what you guys think. So yeah, Mike, you wouldn't do one of these.
I wouldn't. Here's why. There's a couple reasons. One is that fundamentally, I think that's the wrong way to blow off steam for me.
All right.
To me, I think, especially as somebody who admittedly, I would say, when my kids were younger, I had a hard time fucking containing being angry.
Yeah.
For a number of reasons. Some of it was, a lot of it was being jettisoned from the military into, less than a year in corporate America, and then, while I'm transitioning into being a woman, transitioning into being an entrepreneur and business owner, and the stress that comes with that, and what have you, coupled with, and this isn't me making excuses. This is years after reflecting and kind of putting pieces together. So bear with me, but also coming out of the military while I'm still in the age range of what I would consider a fighting age male. Still in my prime, and probably able to do the job, kind of up in the air with the valley fever stuff and losing a lot of lung capacity. But I had a lot of former teammates and coworkers that were still on active duty, still going on deployment, still fighting fucking bad guys, and I wasn't. And that's something that's hard to go away from. It makes you feel like a quitter in some respects, and coupling that with, Extortion 17, I lost a number of friends on Benghazi. Glenn and Ty were two of my closest friends. Over that course of the last, 12 years, 13 years that I've been out, I've lost a lot of close friends that were guys that I worked with that died doing the job that I used to do that now I'm not doing anymore. And for me, that's been a hard thing to reconcile sometimes, and especially early on when I first got out, it was the hardest. It was also coincidentally when my kids were very young, and my business was just starting, i.e. at its most vulnerable. All of those things combined made it difficult for me to harness all of that in a constructive manner most of the time, or some of the time. And so for me, the thought of being whatever, pent up, angry, or needing to blow off steam, having fun, whatever, going and breaking shit, to me is a very unhealthy and negative way for me to express that feeling. For me, this is just me. I'm not judging anybody that, comes in their fucking shorts by beating a fucking printer to death. If that's what does it for you, knock yourself out. Just for me, I don't think it's a good idea. For me, jiu-jitsu, working out, push-ups until I can't do them, beating a bag even where there's something behind it in terms of technique and something positive. I mean, to me, just going and destroying something, I think is again, on a fundamental or principled level, is the wrong way to do that. That's just my take.
Matt, you said you'd go.
Well, I would go, but now I want to build our own room.
Now I don't want to go.
No. I do have very bad anger issues too. But I thought of a funny way to make a rage room.
Okay.
You take them big 2-foot dildos, suction cup dildos, and you just run around the room trying to beat the shit out of printers with that.
There you go. That's a good time.
Yeah.
Nothing will be broke, but there'll be some embarrassed motherfuckers walking out of the room.
Swinging a fucking 3-foot dildo.
Yeah. I mean, I could see where my wife wants to do it, and I'd probably go do it once with her. Just because I like fucking shit up.
We could probably make a video out of it, but it does sound like it's a weird idea. Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost like getting angry to relieve anger. Because to me, when you're raging, you got to get angry. For me to be at my most powerful and all that to fuck shit up, I'm usually mad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to do that, and I'd want to really fuck shit up if I'm spending my money.
Oh, yeah.
To do that, you'd almost have to be mad. By the time I'm done, I'm going to be more pissed off at the stuff that pissed me off to be in that room for 30 minutes. Yeah. So I'm probably going to spend the next 8 hours being pissed after 30 minutes of breaking shit.
Yeah. I think for certain people it can be
It can be therapeutic.
I think there in ways there can be small positives to take away from it, but ultimately, yeah, like paying the price of admission to just get mad for a while. I'm like, I don't know, man. I'd rather go work out and like go to the batting cages or something.
I'd rather just have sex.
To me, again, it's mostly fundamental for me is that, one of the terms I've used and have recently, I think, changed my mental position on it. The term controlling your emotions.
Yeah.
It's something that I've used a lot, right? It's important to control your emotions. But I actually think that you should not try to control your emotions. And this may seem like nuance to a lot of people, but I think there's an important distinction, is that you should never try to control your emotions. You should absolutely let whatever emotions you have, feel them, experience them, etc. What you need to control is your reactions, your physical reactions to your emotions. And so to me, the physical act, and this is just like with anything else that you practice, if you're angry and you go and even if you're paying and it's a controlled environment, but paying to break shit, to me that puts you in a negative thought loop of that's an acceptable physical response to being angry, is to break the fuck out of something. And so now, fast forward, you get in an argument, you get in a heated road rage incident, whatever, you now have tons of repetitions. Maybe it's one, maybe it's fucking 200, I don't know. But now you've got repetitions of you using physical anger and breaking shit as an acceptable release to an emotion of anger or pent-up aggression or whatever it is. And to me, that's just a bad precedence.
Yeah.
But I'm not trying to piss on people's parades. I get it, but to me, that's just how I view it. I think that there's a kind of almost a subliminal or subconscious negative component to that I think is fucking unhealthy. But
yeah. You make a good point. Like there is a element of like physical release that makes sense. Matt joking about sex is valid in this scenario, I think.
Fuck
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 100%. Like in going and working out, like you're still getting that, but you're building something and you're growing and you're changing. When you're mad, your brain is just not taking in any information. You're just angry and outputting anger. It doesn't work.
Yeah, and that's a bad connection to make, especially if you're repeating it over and over. Because again, I think that has the potential to lead to, if you have a hard time controlling that to begin with. Now, if you're a mousy fuck that your balls are in your wife's purse anyway, maybe it's good for you to go do that. I don't know.
That's who I'm talking about. I'm like,
Probably
there's some
have to
people
get
out there
your
that like
credit card
it would be a good thing.
Yeah,
to like,
and it may be.
express themselves.
If you're asking me, would I do it? No, and that's why I wouldn't do it. So.
Yeah.
Good answer. Yeah.
Sex, you're also building something and growing. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. Yeah, watch out.
Yeah. There's nothing better than having a good argument and then make up sex. Yeah, that's good shit. Well, that's it. Zach, you save your questions for the next episode. We'll get into those a little bit more in the beginning next time.
Yeah, do that.
And then you guys make sure to check us out. We're on apparently Google now. Anywhere you can find a podcast, you can check us out, Uninfluenced. Make sure you check us out on Patreon. Check out Mic Drop. Check out Mic Drop Patreon. Check out teamdog.pet or MikeRitland.co.
That's right.
I'm hitting up all this shit today. I got all this shit going on.
Get
For
yourself
motherfucker not sleeping.
Quality fueled by Team Dog. Yes.
Yeah. Buy yogurt. That way you can surprise your woman with that fake sperm. Peace, bitches.